Welcome back to Quest Means Business. Ireland says its economy was still in recession during the last quarter of 2023, but relief appears to be on the way. The European Commission projecting that Ireland will return to a modest growth this year. Ireland's economy was expanding dramatically before the recent slowdown. That growth driven at least in part by the country's low corporate tax rates. It had to raise those rates because of new OECD rules. The Taoiseach will have a huge platform to pitch Ireland as a business destination tomorrow too. Leah Varadkar will meet with President Joe Biden at the White House, a St. Patrick's Day tradition. And Myles O'Grady is the CEO of the Bank of Ireland. His company just extended the lease for its New York office too. Myles, fantastic to have you on the show. Happy almost St. Patrick's Day celebration. Let's talk about extending your presence with that NYC hub. I believe it's for another 10 years. It's sort of the commercial gateway for Irish businesses looking to invest in the United States and vice versa. What are you seeing and what does it say about both sides, I think, of the water?
Well, good afternoon, Julia, and an early happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Bank of Ireland has been doing business in the United States now for nearly 50 years. And in that context, it's all about supporting American businesses active in Ireland. You know, Irish is about 1,000 US businesses employing 200,000 people in Ireland, and of course vice versa, a lot of Irish businesses wanting to be active in the US as well. So our New York City hub is really important to us. It provides a platform particularly for entrepreneurs and for startups to use the facility to run their business, to meet clients, meet investors. So we're very happy to support that part of our business.
And to keep it going, we were just showing where it is as well, 2 Grand Central Tower in Manhattan, not cheap. Did you get a good deal on the lease?
We got a very good deal.
Did you negotiate lower?
We're happy with the deal. You know, there's lots of pressure on commercial real estate, so we feel we've done well for the next 10 years for sure.
What can you tell me about that, by the way, on commercial real estate? What's your view at the moment? Because clearly it's highly topical, certainly in the United States, but obviously back home too.
Yeah, I think you're right, and not just in the United States, really globally across Europe and in Ireland. And there's a degree of pressure there. My take on it is that a combination of increased interest rates, but also changing habits in how people come to work. That is a factor. But actually, high quality office space in good location that's new or being refurbished, I feel that's going to perform strongly. It's the areas that possibly are not in such good locations, are not such good condition, maybe under some pressure. But actually, when you look through over to the medium term, you know, I think we can expect to see a pickup in demand for office space.
Yeah, so it's quality over quantity, to your point, I think, at this point in time at least. Now, I looked at your latest results. Now, they don't suggest any form of technical or even mild recession in Ireland, record-breaking pre-tax profits. I know you're amid a strategic transformation as well. What are you seeing from customers at this moment? What trends should we be watching?
Well, we've completed year 1 of our 3-year strategy, and we have had a strong financial performance. Our home market, particularly in Ireland, our loan growth 23%, increase in customer numbers 8%, and indeed wealth assets up as well. We know some of the biggest factors driving Bank of Ireland's performance, particularly in our role to support the Irish economy, is very much around the housing market. So our mortgage book grew 8% last year, and of course that's all about making sure we can provide the right funding to put people into homes. And on the wealth side as well, there's a real opportunity. There's a lot of cash in the Irish system, and therefore the opportunity to offer both deposits and more sophisticated wealth products is a factor for sure in customer preferences. And of course, within all of that is this very much a desire on customers to increase their digital usage, use online more. That's not unusual for any bank, and indeed not unusual for Bank of Ireland.
Yeah, normally what would happen is mortgage customers and taxpayers would look at those kind of earnings and profits and be disgruntled. Investors would really like them. I have to ask you why you think investors sort of sold the share price or sold the stock when you presented these results. I mean, it was down 10% on the day. Sort of a bit of a head scratcher to me.
Yeah, it is certainly interesting, and I've been having some very good conversations with our investors over the last 2 weeks. I mean, our profits of 1.9 billion for last year, that's the strongest level ever, and of course facilitated the return of capital, so distributions of 1.15 billion. When I listen to investors, it seems to me that there is a broader question here, not just about Bank of Ireland, but about European banks, is that as interest rates come down, can a European bank maintain a double percentage return on equity. And for sure in Bank of Ireland we can. In Ireland, the equity story is really about a concentrated market that's going to grow. And that certainly supports the targets that we have out there. We expect to have returns of 15% out over the next number of years.
Yeah, and we have to see how much they cut, and to your point, how much you can pass on to customers
Indeed,
as well
yeah.
when those rates come down. Myles, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to chat to you.
Thank you very much
Myles
indeed.
O'Grady there. Thank you.
Thank you.